Hey guys, Frankie here, and I'm sitting on my deck for one of the first times in 2019 here in Seattle. It's finally sunny, I got the shades on, a little bit windy, but otherwise fairly nice. And I put on this tank top this morning and it says New Orleans on it. This is a souvenir that I got when I was on a trip a couple of years ago, and when I put it on, this story came flooding back to me this morning that I needed to share, wanted to share. So this story about this trip started just about maybe 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, when my girlfriend and I were at a Mariner game here locally, and we were walking through the concourse and we saw this stand for a resort, well, a company I just decided I'm not going to name. And basically they were offering, you know, like a spin to win game, and you can win up to like 2 free nights or something like that. So I was like, whatever. So we walked up and we spun the wheel, and I don't typically win, but I won. And I realized now the thing's probably like weighted and rigged to make sure that you win. So the guy's like, great, you won 2 free nights. Like, here's the pamphlet, here's all the cities, yada, yada, yada. Come talk to me like when you guys are ready to like take advantage and fill out this form and get your 2 free nights. So we go back to our seats, and you know, we have the little takeaway brochure, and we're reading through kind of all the cities. There's lots of cities on this list, and kind of fantasizing for the next inning or two about all the different places we'd like to go and why and what we would do. And I pull out my phone and I pull up the Seahawks schedule, and I see that the Seahawks are going to be in New Orleans this upcoming season. So New Orleans was on the list, and we're like, oh my gosh, let's just do it. Like, the road games are so fun. Like, let's just do this thing. So we go up there and we talk to the guy, and I'm like, yeah, how do I take advantage? Like, where's my 2 free nights? Yada, yada. He says, well, so all you need to do is give me all your information here today and sign up for a seminar. So these seminars are like every weekend or something locally here in Seattle. So I'm like, okay, fine. I don't know much about this. So I go online and I research this company and this 2-hour seminar, and if this deal is like real or fake or what. And everyone's like, it's a scam, it's a timeshare thing, pitch. They're just gonna like pressure you to try to sign up for like timeshares, just not worth your time, money, energy, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm frugal and I want 2 free nights, so I think I can go to this timeshare thing and not purchase anything, right? I think I even left my wallet at home as a safeguard. So my girlfriend drops me off one day during, like, I had to miss a couple hours of work actually for an appointment, and I sit through this 2-hour thing, and it's exactly what I'd read online. They described it perfectly, right? It's all just like pictures and fantasy resorts and stories, and there were about 15 other people in this room just like me. And actually, looking back, I don't know if those people were just like me or if they worked for this company, because they were all raising their hand and participating and sharing stories about how their family members had timeshare credits through this company growing up, and you know, just sharing all the memories of all their great trips that they went on, and like they were finally now ready to buy in on the credits and the idea of this. So they showed up like ready to go. So at the end of this 2 hours, you sit down one-on-one with someone, and this guy was so flattering and like super nice and complimentary, and he's raving about like the company I work at that he asked me about, trying to like really just get to know me. And after showing me a lot of different options and packages, he finally says, like, based on your situation, this is the one I'd recommend. And I look at the bottom line number, and it's like $15,000 or something insane. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm honestly just here for the credits. I really appreciate your time, but like, there's no way you're gonna get me to buy anything today. Like, it's just not happening, you know? And so he brings in what I'm gonna call like the closer, and this guy comes over, and man, just a totally different tone, right? He is just direct and blunt, and at a certain point the conversation actually got like a little bit like, I don't know if nasty is the right word, but almost like nasty. Like he was starting to like drop some like slight insults and things like that, and starting, I can't remember the things he said, you know, in the moment, but there were things that are like, I can tell you know, don't value your work-life balance, you don't value your time, you don't value like your family and like spending time with them and vacations. And I just stopped talking, and I'm not gonna argue with this guy, and I basically was like, okay, can I go now? He's like, yeah, like, get out of here, whatever, beat it, you know. And you got to talk to this guy in the hall. He'll do like a quick exit interview and give you your 2-hour credits. We got a plane season. So I go into the hall to see this guy and get my credits, and he's a guy that's like my age and a lot different in tone and attitude. And he says, well, listen, man, there is one option like we don't normally tell people about, but I think it's perfect for you. It's just a couple $100 and you get a handful of credits or whatever. We just really want to get you on board, and I think once you experience it one time. And I said, it's just not happening. Like, and he said, can I ask you something? I said, sure. He said, why don't you value like vacations and time and like committing to this? And I said, well, the truth is, last year I probably went on 10 or 12 different like kind of small vacations, weekend trips and things like that, and I probably only had to pay to lodge at just a couple of them. And the reason is it's like friends and families, like cabins or places they allow us to stay at, camping, things like that are like local quick getaways. And I just don't think I need to invest in this today. And he said, yeah, that actually makes sense. Cool. And he let me go, and he gave me the paperwork, and so we go online that night. We book our 2 nights with our credits at the hotel we wanted with the dates we wanted. I think we added on 3 additional nights at the same place because it just made sense. Like, we didn't want to move around and whatnot. So flash forward a few months, and we get there, and they're just so nice. Like, they already know our names, they're expecting us, they're greeting us, they're offering us to help us get like rides back to the airport on our way out for free and things like that, and really like taking care of us. And I'm like, wow, this is a really nice resort. This is a really cool experience. So it was for a couple of days. Come like day 2 or 3, I can't remember, they told me about this opportunity to get like free meals, breakfasts, dinners, things like that, even during the rest of our trip. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm frugal, and I'm free is always good. So what do I got to do? And they're like, all you got to do is go to this hour seminar tomorrow morning. Can you, like, which one do you want? Pick a time slot. I'm like, unbelievable. No, I'm on vacation. There's no way I'm sitting through another one of these seminars just for some free food, right? So the next day, I think there was a letter in my room or something, like, gotta call the front desk, it's urgent, there's, some situation with your account or whatever, a credit card, I don't know. So I call them, and they say like, oh, well, as a part of your requirement for this free 2 nights, you gotta come like book a time slot before you leave here to do this hour seminar thing. And I'm like, I've already said no, like, I'm on vacation, there's absolutely no way. So from that point on, the tone completely shifted. They no longer greeted us when we went in and out of the door, or said our names, or offered that like free ride to the airport at the end of the trip. And it just left like a sour, bitter taste in our mouth at the end of that. No more restaurant recommendations and things like that they were raving about. So we had a great trip. We had a really good time, but was it all worth it? We did get our 2 free nights. I think you pay like taxes and fees. We added on a few more. We stayed at a place that was definitely above, somewhere nicer than we probably would have stayed, right by the stadium. It was super convenient and awesome. We may not have gone on this trip otherwise, who knows? But the point is, this was not worth it. I don't recommend these situations. Stay away from these offers. It's not worth your time, right? It's not worth being insulted. At the end of the day, the value was a couple $100 and maybe 4 or 5 hours of time, like connecting with them on phone, email, and in person, and the constant pressure throughout. So, it wasn't worth. Now I look at photos, I'll try to include a couple fun ones, or souvenirs, and it's not worth that kind of like tainted experience that I think about, like this story when I put on this tank top today, a few years later. So instead, what I do recommend, because I do value, work-life balance and traveling and spending time with significant others and experiencing everything that's out there, what I recommend instead is that you spend the same amount of time I spent going through this experience, just researching, learning, finding tools, technology, apps, websites that can help you budget and travel affordably. So I'll put a few of my favorite resources just to help you guys, find some things that might be useful for you. I highly recommend you do travel and you get out there and you plan these things with your partner. We went to Europe, for example, last year for 17 days. It took us 10 months to plan. I create agendas, and I'm sure to always include, through research and everything, a few things on that agenda that are going to take up time and not a lot of money. So whether it's discovering some hidden place in Texas that was like I don't know what you call it, like a reservoir or something, some hidden place to go swimming, parks, hikes, there's free events. Like, we went to this awesome flea market in Denver that was free and had just like a great time. There was like DJs and drinks. It was just awesome. You just do your research ahead of time. Use resources that are out there, plan ahead, do it frugally and affordably. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the story. Get out there and go plan your next trip. I want to hear about it. If you got any cool trips coming up, let me know in the comments. Let me know some of your favorite resources, sites, apps, things like that you use to plan. I want to still continue to learn and take trips and do it cheaper and cheaper. So I'm always learning. I hope you guys are too. thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share if you found this story interesting, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.